This is the DJI Power 2000 power bank. Now, before you click away thinking, another power bank review, this one has got a secret, and it can do something that no other power bank I've ever tested can do. During the summer months, my CFO, significant other / wife, insert appropriate title here, we like to go riding our electric bikes. Some days they are short rides, maybe out to a local pub and back to the house. Some days we put the bikes on the back of the car, we go further afield and make a day of it. And on a few days, we actually go on multi-day rides. And that means we'll go to an Airbnb, we'll take the bikes with us on the back of the car, and we'll ride for multiple days. And that poses a problem because occasionally the bikes run out of power. Now, if you've ever ridden an electric bike, you'll know electric bikes are quite heavy, especially when you're not getting electric assist. And that means you need a way to charge them up. Now, quite often we will stay in an Airbnb or a B&B, and just like it's considered to be bad etiquette to go to an Airbnb and plug your car in without asking, we feel it's the same for electric bikes. You shouldn't be using somebody else's electricity to charge up your bikes. And we don't have the luxury of being able to go to a public charging station. That's where this comes in, because we've had power stations for years. And I've taken one on every single trip we go, we plug our bikes in and we charge them up. But when we get back, this goes back into the shed. And it might sit there for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, or a couple of months. And I don't really feel we get value from it. So when DJI reached out and said, hey, we've got a new power station, my initial thoughts were, so what? But then they told me about a little trick that it can do. This is not only a power station, this is also a home battery solution. So just like any other home battery with a microinverter that you connect into your house, obviously through a fused spur to make sure you're compliant with all the wiring regulations, this particular power station does two roles. So it can be the power station that you take with you when you need energy on the move. And when you come home, you can take what's left in it and feed it into your house. Okay, it looks like we've got enough charge in the bike that will see us through the next couple of days. So we're going to disconnect everything. We're going to take the power station back into the garden. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do with the other 59% that is in this battery. So right now we've got more than 1 kilowatt hour of energy sitting in this battery. And with the current prices of electricity, I'd much rather it was in my house being used rather than sitting in this battery. So as I said earlier, this device has two roles. It's your traditional power station, charge it up from the mains, preferably when the electricity is cheap, and then draw that power to power whatever devices you want. Now across the front here, we've got 4 UK main sockets. Obviously, if you live somewhere where your plug sockets are different, then you will get whatever country approved sockets you see on the front there. Along the front, we've got 4 USB-Cs and 4 USB-As. So no matter what you're charging, whether it's the kids' tablets, phones while you're camping, I take my DJI drone and charge that off of here. You can charge multiple different things all at the same time. You've also got 2 SDC inputs here for solar panels or high-powered input into the battery. And then behind this door here, you've got the charging port. Now, the one thing that is different and I really like about this particular power station is everything's on the front. All the panels, all the buttons, everything is on the front here. You're not trying to take power in from one side and pull power out from the other side or plug something in at the back. Everything is front accessible. And that means this can sit against the wall and it cools from left to right. So you take air in one side, blow it out the other. And it means you can put it on a rack, in the garage, on a shelf, out the way. You're not having to think about all the different ways that wires and cables and connectors have got to get into the device. Everything you need is on the front of the device. Two buttons, one to turn it on and off, so just to turn the screen on and off there. And then this one controls the AC out, so this controls the inverter. So again, if you're just pulling power out using the low powered connectors and you don't need the 240 volts, then you can just turn that off and draw power out the front that way. But again, really nice, really simple, well thought out layout. Now, as I said, this device can be connected directly to your house. And the way you do that is through the port that is in here. Now, the cable you will get in the box looks like this. So it has a standard 13 amp plug on one end. We'll come back to that in a minute. And it has an IEC connector here, but with two little grub screws on the side. And these are designed so that when you connect it here, you can lock it into the port. That stops it accidentally being pulled out if somebody trips over the cable or anything like that. Now, we are quickly approaching the 27th of August. 27th of August is the day that the legislation goes live in the UK for plug-in solar. And we will probably know by now, batteries are not included in that. That means that you can't plug this in to feed power back into your house through a 13 amp plug. Now again, this cable does double duty. So this charges the device and discharges the device. But if you're going to use the discharge function, then this must be removed and connected to a fused spur. And that work needs to be done by a qualified electrician. My electrician is currently in my garage. He does not want to be on this video. So he's doing the work to get a fused spur connected up for me. And we'll be getting this wired in the next few minutes. So once he's done, we'll head into the garage and we'll take a look there. But once you've got it connected up, you can charge this device. You can charge it at 2,400 watts, but you can only discharge into the house at 800 watts. So just like every other microinverter that is out there, in the UK, you are limited to an 800 watt discharge. But again, this all happens through this one cable. If you do need to just charge the device, you don't need to use the locking pins. It says in the app that the locking pins are there for discharge mode. So if you're sending energy back to the house to comply with regulations, and I'm not entirely sure what regulations they're referring to, it says that these locking pins need to be in place. But other than that, it is a standard plug which you can charge if you need a longer cable to be able to charge your device. Other than that, there's really not much more to say about it. It is a nice unit, everything's on the front. It is very expandable. So you can add DJI add-on batteries for this. Every add-on battery is another 2 kilowatts. So 2 kilowatts, 4, 6, 8, and so on. You can take a single system to 22 kilowatt hours of storage. So 10 add-on batteries plus the main unit. Now, if you are thinking of having a battery of that size, then I think there are other solutions on the market you probably want to look at. But the advantage of this is it can grow with you. So if you do want a small home battery that is easily removable, if you're in a rental property and you're going to move, you can just unplug it and take it with you. And you can expand the capacity as you need it. So if you need another 2 kilowatts, or maybe as you get into next summer, you're going to add some solar panels and you want to be able to charge them up and store that energy, you can add another 2 kilowatts all the way up to 22 kilowatt hours. So with that, I think the next thing to do is to get this into the garage, get it hooked up to the fused spur, and let's see if we can discharge what's left in this battery back into the house. Okay, so we're all set up. As you can see here, the power station's installed. We have our fused spur and we have it connected into the front of the power station with the grub screws done up. And if we take a closer look at the screen, you'll see it's outputting 586 watts. And we're going to go and verify that now by checking it with a Shelly app, because this particular fused spur also has a CT clamp. It's all being monitored so that I can double check that everything is as it should be. Okay, let's head back outside while this is working. I'll show you what we can see from the app. Okay, so that's now feeding power into the house. Let's take a look at the DJI Home app. Ignore that, that is my robot Hoover that's just finished its job. But we'll head across here and we'll select the DJI Power 2000. So very, very simple, but most of the configuration is hidden away in the menus. So what you can see is we have two basic tabs here. We have input and output. you'll see there it says Energy Saver Grid Tied ESS. That's letting us know that it's seeing the synchronization from the grid. It's got the 50 hertz signal. It knows it's connected to the grid. And we've got 56% power remaining at the moment. So now the one thing you will not be able to do is, whilst you're using it connected to the grid, is to use it as a power station. So all of the sockets on the front are disabled in the current software. Hopefully that's something that DJI can fix in future software releases. But right now, once you plug it in, it becomes an inverter plus home battery. So the output tab there, you can see we're currently outputting 589 watts. Now, why not 800 watts? We just talked a minute ago about you could go up to 800 watts. Well, I actually have this configured so that it will only output up to 600 watts. And you can see there the grid-tied AC port, 589 watts. Now, you look at this and you go, well, there's not much I can do here. Most of the configuration lives in this little menu up here. So we've got obviously device info, we've got firmware updates, the firmware is currently up to date. And then we get into energy management. So this is for charging and discharging the battery. So you can see here, you can discharge all the way down to 0 and you can charge all the way up to 100. And again, there's some recommendations there of 15 to 70%. It is completely up to you. It is, after all, your battery. Okay, so if we go into energy optimization, you'll see I'm currently running on time of use mode. And then below that, we've got the settings for grid tied mode. So we can set a period of time. So I've said here, if I plug you in between 10 o'clock in the morning and 1900 in the evening, start to discharge. I haven't set any off-peak periods because I just want it to discharge around. Now, off-peak periods would be when I could tell it to charge, so it can charge and discharge through that same cable. Power adjustment is set to manual at the moment. We're not going to mess around with that today. Recharging power, 600 watts. So we can now set the power which it will charge itself if I set that off-peak period, but also the discharge power. So if I want to ramp that up a little bit, let's ramp it up to 700 watts. These sliders is very difficult to get it exact. There we go, 703 watts, that'll do. And then if I head back to the main screen, you'll see we're up to 691. So it's pretty simplistic. There's not a huge amount you can get wrong. You just need to know that this is where you go. Now, if you have solar panels plugged into it, you want to use it more like a regular home battery, you can maximize self-consumption, or you can set scheduled periods where you want it to do different things depending on what your electricity rate is at the time. So according to this, we're discharging 700 watts. Well, the way we will verify that is we'll head across to the Shelly app. This is my garage. You can see the DJI 2000 there at the top, 701.7 watts minus. That means there's 700 watts being fed back into the house as we speak. So that's it. It's a pretty simple device, and it's really nice that you don't really have to learn a great deal to be able to use it. If you know how to use a power station, configuring it for grid use is really, really simple. If you've got any questions, please do pop them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. If you are looking to get one of these devices, I have put links to it in my Amazon storefront, which I'll put a link to in the description and up on the screen right now. With that, it just remains for me to say thank you to DJI for sending me this unit. I will come back to it over the next sort of 3, 6 and 9 months to let you know how it's been working. We are going to put this through its paces, not just charging our electric bikes, but it's going to become our day-to-day power station. So when we go down to the allotment and places like that, then we'll be taking the power station with us. With that, it just remains for me to say thank you very much for clicking on this video. I hope you found it useful. If I'm lucky, I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.